So, yeah, the Improbable Blob and I built this the other day. It's basically Zir'an using Ruby Rifter as an engine with a bond package. So we kind of have a mid-range game plan with Duelyst and Ironcliff in playsets. We have Rifter to draw cards instead of Trinity Oath, who basically forms another win condition. And the rest of the deck is support for that, some healing, some synergy. There's a few things missing from this deck. I'll go over those afterwards. But just a quick run through of what's in here. Aegis Barrier is obviously great for protecting utility pieces, as we saw in that game. It's also very good for protecting Ruby Rifter itself, right? You know, you don't want it to get Blood of Ed or something. So you can play it on 7, draw a card, and now you've got a 6/6 hexproof sitting in the back that your opponent can't deal with, short of Chromatic Cold. And even if they have the Chromatic, you're up a card, you've still got a body, you know, that you can heal, it's better than nothing. Magnetize, yeah, Magnetize is the spice slot. So Magnetize, the thing with Ruby Rifter is that she gets to like 14 power very, very quickly. Because when your opponent attacks you, you draw more cards, and the Ruby Rifter gets pumped up. So you can Magnetize in a 14/6 Rifter and just whap your opponent in the face. Bam. So you don't even need Divine Bond for it to be good. And it's also, yeah, it's a cheap removal spell. It kills Circulus now, which is awesome. And clears out utility, I mean, Pyromancers and random, like, Heartseekers and stuff. It kills, especially once Zir'an is large, it kills quite a lot of things quite efficiently. I might want to put a second copy in, because I keep wanting it, and I don't have it. As a Herald and Healing Mystic, these are the obvious 2-drops of choice in a Zir'an deck. We need healing. Healing is how we live. Sunbloom, I only had space for one Sunbloom. I might even cut it for the second Magnetize, just kind of go all in on that plan. It is a really useful card to have, and there's been a couple of situations where, you know, if I draw this, I win because I can make X really nice play. But so I think it's valuable to have one of it, especially in a slow deck like this. But it kind of is a tech slot more than it is a piece of the engine. How is it a removal spell? Magnetize. You pull something close to you and then you punch it. Ranged minions, small things that are far away, whatever. Like, yeah, Magnetize on a Keyba holder is amazing. And of course it goes quite well with generals that are large, like Zir'an. Windblade, I've got a couple of Windblades over Azeroth Lions because they are better when your opponent attacks them, which makes them slightly better at trading when you're kind of grinding removal and minion trades in the very early game. They're not really intended to go off. I don't have any Afterblazes or much synergy with them. I obviously don't have Raw, which makes Azeroth Lions so good. So they're just there as like extra 2-drops, extra bodies, and you know, your opponent's 2/3s will attack them and die, unlike Azeroth Lion, which makes them quite powerful. 2 Divine Bond, obviously this is our one of our combo pieces. It's good with Duelyst Tombstone, it's good with Ironcliff Guardian, and it's quite good on a Ruby Rifter to make it from, you know, 8 power to 14 or 14 power to 20. Martyrdom, this is a slow deck, we need good removal. Martyrdom kills anything, more or less, pretty cleanly and triggers our synergy on the way out, and you can also Martyrdom your own stuff for value if you just need to not die later on. Scintilla, this card is fantastic. Anyone who's played with or against it will probably know that. You get double triggers on your Sunforge Lancers with it. It obviously is a big body in the early game, heals you as well as your stuff later on, so it's, you know, a really good recipe for sustaining your deck and your minions into the mid game. Sojourner is there as backup, because with only 3 ways of drawing cards in the deck, I felt like it needed, you know, it might run out quite easily, especially as those ways of drawing cards are mostly expensive. So Sojourner is a nice, you know, it's another early drop, that's helpful, and it's backup. Reveal Magma card. Sorry, I don't have a Magma card, it's an Abyssian card. Sunforge Lancer, obviously it's a Zir'an deck, you need this thing, this is why you play Zir'an. You make Zir'an very large and then you win, ideally. Blistering Scorn, so this is an interesting card to run through of, but there's a lot of applications for it in the deck over Tempest. Number one, it is really good for tempo swings. Like, I play a 2-drop, you play some 2-drops, I play Blistering Scorn and make valuable trades. Now I'm winning. I have this 4/4 in play. Number two, it obviously synergizes with my healing abilities. I can heal the minions that it damages, I can heal it. It damages me, I can heal myself. you know, turning on as a herald when the opponent hasn't attacked and anything like that, things like that. The other thing is that if you have a Ruby Rifter in play, your Blistering Scorn draws you a card. That little bit of extra synergy, I feel, pushes it over the edge. Tempest is obviously cheaper, but having a 4/4 body makes this card really good. I keep oscillating on which one I want. Like, I'll have a game where I'll really want Tempests and not Blistering Scorns, and then have another game where the fact that they're Blistering Scorns instead of Tempests wins me the game, and blah blah blah. Duelyst, this is a good defensive mid-game drop. It's good value, it's good tempo, and it's obviously good with Divine Bond. Holy Immolation, it goes boom. It's one of the best cards in the game. I'm only playing 2 because my deck has a kind of clunkier curve than your typical Argian deck. There's only 8 2-drops, there's no Blood Tear Alchemists, which makes Holy Immolation a lot less powerful. Ironcliff, defense, Divine Bond, nothing to see here. And then the Ruby Rifter, who's the deck kind of namesake card. This is the card we built the deck around. So, things I would really like to see. I sometimes wonder, you know, maybe I should cut one of the Rifters and put in a Trinity Oath, but actually the flow of cards is fine. You tend to run out of cards round about when you get a Ruby Rifter down, and because your opponent's trying to kill you, she tends to draw like 3 cards next turn, so far. You can even play around removal with Aegis Barrier, which is why that's in the deck. And she helps you dig to ways to finish the opponent off, like Divine Bond, Magnetize, Removal, to clear the way, and so on. It's just a generally very powerful card. I would like more Dispel, I would like more Magnetize. The deck has that thing where you'll draw not enough healing and loads of synergy for it, or loads of mid-game stuff and no early game combos. You draw all your healing 2-drops and no payoff, blah blah blah. Like, it's a bit awkward in that regard, so I always feel like I want more of everything, which isn't very helpful. Sweet. Against Vanar. Scintilla's a pretty good turn 1 play. We could put it in the middle with Aegis Barrier up if he plays like a Circulus or something. This is very useful against Arcanists. Generally, this will get wrecked by Dispel, but we're fairly likely to lose one of these to Chromatic Cold anyway, so we might as well get that over with. I think this and this with Aegis Barrier as a curve filler / Mana Death Grip troll card, and Martyrdom as an Owl Beast is a pretty good starting hand. Definitely don't need 2 Martyrdoms though. Well, I say that. Blue Conjurer is a thing. But we probably want to replace them looking for like ways to kill a Circulus. What's this? Gravity Well? Alright, sure. That's fine. Snow Chaser? Sure. That's a bit annoying, but not a huge deal. Scorn? No Scorn. So I guess I want to go here. It puts me nearer this mana tile. My opponent will obviously come up and take it themselves, but I may as well at least threaten to do this. And this way I can hopefully make a decent trade with the Scintilla against whatever ends up on the mana tile. More Scintilla is not really what I need. I don't really mind taking damage off the off the Snow Chaser for a bit. That's an interesting spot to put it in. What are you playing around by doing that? Like pulling me away from Sojourner, I guess? I mean, I can come here and just body block this little guy. Attack this. Martyrdom the Sojourner and Aegis Barrier my Scintilla. I play around Warbird. I block this off from attacking it, so my opponent will probably use a Chromatic Cold, which is fine. We get rid of this kind of cleanly. Another option is finding a spot to play Duelyst. I don't really like letting my opponent draw a pile of cards. I guess there's the option of attacking the Sojourner and then milling the Snow Chaser, but I'm not hugely keen on that. I'm going to replace this and look for Scorn or something. That's an interesting one. I think we'll do this next turn. And for now, let's just clear off some trash. Kill this. Destroy some walls and cycle the barrier on this to use up mana. Dig through my deck. Again, looking for Scorn, Sunbloom, Synergy, whatever. and force out a Chromatic Cold that could otherwise target the Steel Test. Or a Hearth Sister. They could Hearth Sister it. That looks like a Hearth. That does not look like a Hearth. Primus Shieldmaster. Wow. That's interesting. You don't see that every day. So I guess, pleasingly, I can attack, play Sunforged Lancer, heal this up and kill it, which is a lot of value, and I can also give the Sunforged Lancer hexproof, which is really nice. Don't need 2 Duelysts. Healing Mystic's good. We could play that instead of Afterglow, but I think this is better. That is absurd value. We just killed a 4-drop for free, basically. Or more accurately, for an Afterglow activation. And I'm still protecting both my minions from the Snow Chaser because Panda didn't move it. Hello, people are showing up. Good times. Mr. Enderman, I haven't seen you in ages. Didn't realize you were still playing. Yeah, we'll be doing the reveal in about 20 minutes. Give people time to show up. This game is going quite well so far, I think, but I don't really know what's in my opponent's deck. Like, I guess probably a combo. Like if they're playing, so this is Hearth Sister? Dancing Blades, wow. Maybe they're just playing a budget deck. Or if this is just some kind of mid-range. Alright, so we can kill this with the Sunforged Lancer to farm extra heals, right? We can go as a Herald there, Healing Mystic. Could do all sorts of things actually. We can play as a Herald into... Oh, we can't quite use the Monotile, can we? Don't have room. So I want to move this down here, punch this, Healing Mystic it as a Herald, and then kill the Dancing Blades. And I want to play around Warbird in that process, if I can. Let's go here, down here, kill this, and then what do I want to protect this with? This doesn't die to Frostburn. Put this... There's not much point in blocking off the Monotile, right? So I might as well block off my opponent's movement. Which is best off done here, still, I think. Heal this. Punch this. I don't need 2 of these with the Scintilla in hand, so I think I can replace this little guy. Or I can just cast it. Surround my opponent fully. No, that works really hard into an AoE. Ooh, that's not bad. No, I'm going to save that. We've used 2 of them already. Man, seeing Duelyst after 3 months feels so weird. Not a huge surprise. Spoilers when? Spoilers will be in about 20 minutes. Also, hi. It's a really odd game. So hopefully next time I'm going to be going face. If my opponent doesn't Chromatic Cold me... Oh crap, Warbird. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I knew I was going to do it at some point. It's so easy to forget because you're worried about other things. I mean, this is still okay. My opponent's staying in place, which is pretty good for me. And it puts Warbird on cooldown. There's the Chromatic. Not dispelling this, so that's not a huge problem. Don't care about that guy. Sure. So we punch this. Can run away and punch this one, I guess. Glacial Fissure isn't the revealed card. No, Glacial Fissure is like a Twitter spoiler, I think. So do I bother killing these wells? I kind of think I do. I want to take this Monotile. I'm not sure I can. We getting over this. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. It's not bad. I might hold on to this. So I kind of want to play Duelyst here, but I also want to play the Scintilla to set up. I can do both, but then I can't Afterglow, so I'm going to replace this guy for something cheaper. Or this. That's... You know what, let's just play an Ironcliff with an Aegis Barrier on it, and see how my opponent likes that. So now she needs to have Dispel plus like Aspect of the Fox or something to avoid just getting ruined by this. Oh wow, lots of people. What time is it right now in my place? It's currently 25 to 9, or 20 to 9. Rip player 1. Yeah, that thing is insane. Can we get deck list? Yes. Also, I'll open this. I can show you the deck list in a sec. How long is the card reveal? Yeah, card reveal is in about 20 minutes. Frostburn. Opponent has maybe found a way. Yeah, she's going to walk over and... Yeah, I guess that saves the damage. Do we still have lethal? This is off cooldown, I should have thought of that. Right, we don't need 2 of these. Martyrdom does nothing. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Could play that anyway, but I think I'm going to Ruby Rifter instead. Like, I can just kind of surround my opponent with big stuff. I don't mind if she attacks this. So the ideal draw here is Healing Mystic. That's not bad either. Just gonna go face. 20 to 9 AM or PM. It's PM. I'm, so it's like, evening for me is midday for PST. AKA the average Duelyst user. Yeah, so this is my deck's kind of secret spice. It's basically a Zir'an deck, but with Ruby Rifters instead of Trinity Oaths, as it turned out. There's a couple of sweet cards in here. There's a Magnetize. Because when you put Ruby Rifter in a corner and put an Aegis Barrier on it, you can get some pretty nice nonsense going. Sunset Paragon? No, it can't be. Okay, sure. I'm sure we have some form of lethal off this. So what do I need to do to win? Like, dispel this, kill this, walk in, attack, attack. So we need Sunbloom more than anything. I can punch this to draw a card if I want. I can attack it, heal this, try and find like Holy Immolation. That's boring. Okay. Let's... Let's draw a card. That is a good card, but it's not what I want. Put this in the corner. Do I win if I... No. Slightly too much. I'm going to expose this to Warbird, but I think the body block's more valuable. Because I'm a bit worried about Burst. I guess my opponent only has 2 cards in hand. Attack, Martyrdom, the Bone Reaper. That's not lethal, I think. It's like 2 off. Don't need Divine Bond and leave him at 3 before giving them a chance to answer. I mean, I can hit this. Interesting. BBS on Ironcliff and Divine Bond. Oh, yeah. That puts that to 7 attack. Attack. That doesn't quite do it. I can't quite clear the 2-9 without some help. Oh god. I think we've got this anyway. Looking good. Divine Bond to Ruby. I mean, that kills the Bone Reaper, but then what? 7 plus general equals 10. Yeah, but I can't get the Bone Reaper out the way. The Scintilla was summoning sick. The Ruby Rifter plus 2 only puts it to 8. And she only takes that damage in the first place because I attacked the Bone Reaper. Sure. Whoops. Oh no, it's out of range. Boring. Okay, we must be able to win from here, right? We can play something in Holy Immolation to clear these. I can kill this as well, which is nice. Don't need this. Sunforge. I need Magnetize. I need to heal. I want to attack this, but I kind of can't. Can I go to 5? Opponents use at least 2 Chromatic Colds already. If I leave them with nothing on board, that might be good enough. If I attack this, I'd need to Magnetize first, wouldn't I? I think we just come in. I can like Martyrdom the Tombstone to gain a pile of health. That might be the best play, and then I punch this and send the Rifter in. No, I don't have the mana to do that and Holy Immolation without a 2-drop. Probably still good enough. Risky plays! Risky plays! Saberspine Tiger is not a card in this game, I promise. I think this deck needs a second Magnetize. I mean, it needs a lot of things. There's always, like, something you want that you don't have. So we died here. We died to Saberspine. I don't think my opponent has double Chromatic left in their deck. That seems greedy. You don't need the Rifter to be at 5 health. Yeah, I could have hit it with the Rifter. I want to send the Rifter after my opponent, because obviously it's a huge threat, right? Martyr the Tombstone, I wanted to Immolation this. If I had a 2-drop, I would have done that. This is okay. That's okay. Alright, we win. I mill a card. No. Wait, that's awkward. No, I martyred him this. Kill this. And win. Whew! That was close. No spoilers yet. Hitting that Drake is the only way you lose from this position. Well, if I leave it alive, it can attack me anyway. And leaving it alive has much more downside because my opponent can buff it again. So that opens me up to things like Wailing Overdrive. Which would obviously easily kill me. Yeah, I could have hit it with the Rifter, but I wanted to send the Rifter after my opponent to actually like win the game. I mean, I can sit around and like hope to draw Magnetize, but I think that was probably better. Like, we don't actually die to that much because there's 2 Chromatic Colds gone already. Opponent probably isn't running Saberspine Tiger, and I think that's a reasonable risk to take.